Hi, hello. Welcome to the stream. Sorry. Excuse me. Pardon, I just want to get settled in. I don't know why YouTube decided to broadcast another stream, even though it's not it's supposed to be the same one, but they're tagging it as the same. So let me just get rid of the confusion here. Back end here's a mess. There's something with this one. Okay. Shouldn't be any confusion anymore. That being said, I'm gonna draw Laos today. I know I'm a half hour late, but I'm always afraid that something wrong is going to happen, and I was right in a way, but we will progress. Let's just get into Laos. I don't want to delay any further. So also one other thing I want to do. Turn off my phone. Okay. Laos is the only human in his party from Delicious Dungeon. And in a sense, that would seemingly make him unremarkable. However, he is the idea guy, and his idea actually mostly worked. So he's got that going for him. I wonder how to make it look. I was thinking about making him... Hey, LeMay, welcome to the stream. I was thinking about making him look terrified, but I'm not sure. I want to go with that route. The thing about Laos is that he has a lot of funny faces. He's a very expressive character. As you saw in my thumbnail, you clicked the live stream if you saw it. I'm considering making him scared, but I don't know about that. But yeah, for those who don't know much about Delicious in Dungeon, Laos as well as Senshi are one of the people who said that, hey, you can actually eat the monsters here. And it turns out that you're right, you can eat the monsters there right after you defeat them. So essentially nothing goes to waste. It's strange because you know, in the story, everything creates mana, especially in a dungeon. And plants have the most mana, and monsters, well, actually, the bigger the creature, the more mana store. So a dragon would have the most mana, whereas a plant monster would have the least. So figuring that out and relying on that information is what helps the party trudge along through the dungeon. It also keeps them in the dungeon longer, so they don't have to keep going back to town. If you want to view it in a video game sense. Sounds like you're a Lona character. She ate most of her kills and was good at cooking. You get stats from eating. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, I don't know if you get stats from eating in Delicious in Dungeon. It's more like you just recover your health, your status ailment, and your mana. So it's mostly just how we people eat we eat to recover our energy. So in that regard, it's the same logic. However, I don't know if stats do anything. I mean, the characters do get stronger, but they get stronger through their wisdom, their experience through traveling down the dungeon. I don't think it's from the food itself. I'm guessing his hairline is here. A bit longer than a year. Oh, he has a really ideal head, actually. One moment. 1, 2, and 3. Yep, 3/3. You know what? I also have a friend who plays the Alona game. Like, he really loves the game, so much so that I believe he's playing the early access of the sequel. I think he just likes how highly customizable it is. And you can basically, it's a game where you can do whatever you want, right? Because I've never played it, but the way he describes it is, it's pretty amusing how much of a sandbox it is, while, you know, still being enjoyable and not exactly breaking the systems of the game. And I understand why it took years for the sequel to come out, because that type of customization does take a lot of time to implement. So I have a high respect for that type of notion. That's a pretty ambitious project when you think about it. You know, the funny thing about Laos is that despite the fact that he's a human and they have, you know, short lifespans, he's one of the more ambitious characters. Like, he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants, and what he wants most, which is the main objective of the story, is to rescue his sister, who got eaten by a dragon. I'm not gonna spoil the story. I know there's the anime story of season 1, and then there's the completed series of the manga. But there are people who have seen only the anime and just gauged how they felt about it from there. But if you actually finish the manga, which I would highly recommend because it's the complete story anyway, you can figure out how they rescued Laos' sister and why they had to break certain rules to rescue her, because they had to. Like, they go through a lot of trouble just to rescue this woman. I'll just say that. And then it, like, it's not a way of, like, I'm not gonna say that the story changed in a drastic way, not a completely drastic way. It changed in such a way where it was natural, in a way, like, at a point, it's like the idea of the story, you spoiled yourself. Yeah. The way that the story turned after they after they meet their objective is like, it's the theme of desire. Not just the theme of desire, is yes, actually, the theme of desire is heavily prevalent, but there's also the theme of what does it take, what will you do to get what you want, essentially. We saw Laos's determination to get what he wants. We saw Marcel's. We also see Chilchuck. I don't think we saw much of Senshi. I think Senshi's was essentially done. His character arc was somewhat done, based off his upbringing. But I think his desire changed when he became an adult. And his desire is essentially not just self-preservation, but preservation of the dungeon itself. Which is admirable. Also, when I had no idea he was a tragic character. That surprised me a lot. Because you see this goofy dwarven man with his big old beard. You think nothing of it, but wow. Turns out, hey. It's not all sunshine and roses with that guy. But, you know, in a way, like, Senshi is, like... He is serious in his own way. It's just, it's seemingly not meant to be taken seriously. Like how he, like his knowledge of the dungeon, right? Like, it seems silly at first, but it actually does make sense because he lives in the dungeon. So of course he would be the most knowledgeable of certain creatures. Again, this isn't much of a spoiler, it's in the beginning of the story, but party does encounter golems, and Senshi essentially tells them, don't attack the golems, they're peaceful. And the reason why he doesn't want the golems to get hurt is because, one, they're made of clay or dirt. I'm gonna say soil, because that's the most accurate. And because they're so gentle, he uses them as walking farms. So he grows his produce on the golems. And then when they come around, he reaps his harvest. So that's why he's like, hey, don't harm the golems. They're actually really beneficial to me and the dungeon. Oh, and then there's like the characters of like the characterization of Senshi with his honor system. Where like he has the leave something, take something. Take what you need, leave what you don't need. And he didn't realize he was getting robbed by the other dungeon explorers. Which is pretty funny. That goes to show how naive he is. Because he spent so much time in the dungeon. I don't wonder if they're ever going to release the secret party member. Not that it's a secret to follow the story. Because I know there's merch of the main core, but there's like a 5th party member. No. Maybe I should make him think. But that's his major thing. He likes to think a lot. Laios is a character who spends a lot of time in his books. Well, book, singular. Since he's the one who essentially made his own bestiary. I will say that when it came to the ending, I feel like it's a little bit contrived. Just a little bit. Mostly because, like, he essentially designed a monster to beat the final boss. Which is ridiculous. But, you know, when you think about it, I know I'm criticizing for it being contrived, but the writer made it seem like it wasn't contrived because Laos was only taking advantage of the ability that the final boss could do for you. So, so following that theme of desire, you have a boss that grants your every desire, and he essentially took advantage of that. Like, oh, you can grant my every desire? Okay, we'll do this then. Oh, I'll do that for you. Thanks, bro. Let's look that up. So, the thing is, I'm a bit late to my own stream because I was studying, and then I got a bit nervous about the stream screwing up, and that kind of flustered me a bit. So, if you're wondering why I'm late, that's the reason. I forgot the part name. I know every piece of armor has a name, but I forgot the name of the one that protects your neck. Shape down so I can understand how it works. Right. Continue with the head. Man, I want to keep talking about Delicious in Dungeon, but fortunately it's kind of spoiler heavy, and I don't know who read or watched the show or story. And I'm just like, what do I share? What do I not share? I know there are people who don't. There are people like me who don't care about spoilers, but spoilers can make or break whether you want to or not. Granted, there are people who will just straight up watch a show disregarding the spoilers because of the spoilers. You say, like, they would view it as there's no way that happened, and like, yeah, it happened, and then they like just would watch it out of disbelief. He has big eyes. You talk about his weight change in the story, he gets heavier. His weight change? Do you mean that literally, or do you mean that his desire, the weight of his desire changes? Because that would be pretty funny. I mean, granted, he does get fatter because of all the food he's eating, but I don't think that's a problem. Hello, Singhiro. Welcome to the stream. I'm talking about Dungeon Meshi. And the reason why I'm drawing Dungeon Meshi, even though I predominantly draw Arknights characters, because Arknights is having a collab with Delicious in Dungeon very soon. I believe it starts next week, either on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not quite sure, but it's gonna happen soon. And the character who's on Rate Up is Laos, who's a 5-star. Chilchuk, who's also a 5-star, and then there's Marcel, who's the 6-star. You can't wait for the collab? Yeah, me too. Like, we've been waiting for 6 months. Like, gosh. Let's see. If he thinks he's gonna close. Yeah, when I think about it, whenever Senshi. Sorry, not Senshi. Whenever Laos thinks, his eyes are closed. I don't know how I want to draw it. Oh man, the best Laos face is when he's manic. Those are the best. You hope you get lucky. You don't want to spend all your Orandom with all the stacked banners after this. That's true. That's the problem with like collab banners, such as this one. Like, yeah, it might never run again, so you really want the characters. But in this case, the characters aren't that great. Except maybe Senshi, who's the welfare character anyway. So it's like you really want to get them, but the banners afterwards is probably going to be like way better. In this case, you really wanted them. You skip R6 in the heartbeat. I couldn't do that. Edit this? I'm sorry, I'm looking for a face for him. Yeah, I think I want him to think. I'm gonna put his eye placement still, and then I'm gonna draw him with his eyes closed. Everyone cares about meta. That's true. I mean, I care about meta, kind of. But, like, sometimes the people who say, like, meta is best, they're wrong. They wind up being wrong in the long run. Because, you know, power creep is a thing that exists. Well, in Arknights. Well, yeah, Arknights. As well as other gacha games. Like, for example, a while ago, this is years ago, when Weedy got released, and people thought, oh wow, she's the best pusher in the game. She's like the best. I think she's like the only 6-star pusher. And people were like, oh, you should M9 this character, which I did, and then I wound up never using her. So it's kind of ridiculous to follow the whole meta rhetoric. Because I'm gonna have regret. Spend all that resources on this one character, and I wind up never using. And I only remember them based off, like, how other people use them. Like, oh yeah, this person exists. I forgot you were around. Meanwhile, the characters I like in Arknights, they're some of them are not meta, and they're like, oh, don't build them. They're not that great. They're not that great, but I would still do it. I would still build them because they're fun to use. Like, duh. I understand there are people who like, oh, only 6 stars are worth building because the bloat of 5-star units, which is understandable. There are actually some really bad 5-star units, but there are some really good 6-star units, even though they're few and far between nowadays. Sadly. I felt bad for the old dungeon lord before the other crazy elf. Aw. Oh, right, the former dungeon lord who was, I believe he was human, and then his friend wanted to, like, save his life, but I think he just I think he, like, he didn't read the script. He misread the assignment, how about that? The elf guy misread the assignment. That's what happens when your design becomes like transfixed. You're transfixed on what you want so much that kind of miss what the person wanted. Like, yeah, that guy's your friend and you love him dearly, but you're just not listening to them. To the point where you've caused their death. It's tragic, but it's true. This is more spoiler talk, but at least I'm gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna erase as I go. Alright, this is the comment. You have a weedy level 1, not because I don't want to use her, but because I keep getting units and you want to build them. Yeah. You keep getting units you want to build them. That's exactly it. I was one of those people who never got characters like Scotty or Chen for a while. And then when I finally got Chen, I'm like, okay, what do I use her with? Like, nothing. Nobody uses Chen, and I won't either. Mostly because, one, the main reason why I don't use original Chen is because her power output is not there, and I don't feel all that close to the character anyway. Meanwhile, I really, really like Executor, which is why I built the sniper version, and then I built the guard version, which I like a lot more. There are bad units, yeah, but there's also a lot of exaggeration, like Vigil. You borrow the built ones sometimes, and he's good, just not utterly broken. To be fair, you're missing a lot of must-have units like Thorns and Blaze, and started getting them all in succession, so my resources got drained. Yeah. This is why I look at, like, should you build guys with a little bit more skepticism nowadays? Because I've seen people who are just outright wrong about characters. Like, the last limited character in Arknights was Pepe. And people are like, well, despite the fact that she's a limited character, she's not that great. She's not that great. If you want to build her for, what's the word? Waifu reasons, then you should go ahead. But she's just an okay character. Like, alright, she's an okay character. But I've used her, and she's actually fun to use. So, who cares? Who cares? I think the problem with these how to build guides is that they look at um they take power creep into account, and the problem with that is that if the new character is not a boss killer, it's basically garbage. Or if the new character is not a lane holder, basically trash. As if you can like beat a stage with one character. I mean, in some cases you can, but you shouldn't. Oh, always watching YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Excuse me. Just talking about Arknights. You wonder if Dunmeshi also is going to make a new story. I wonder. I mean, she is a really good writer. But I don't know how you're gonna top that. I don't want to make him look. Too much, I think. You hope that she does. The world building is so good, you really miss it. It's so rare to find good fantasy manga. I may ask for one final thing is getting a... May you ask for one final thing? I gotta look that up. Oh, it's a light novel. Here it is. In the middle of a ball, Scarlett's fiance, Kyle, suddenly calls off their engagement. She's falsely accused of being a bully, and people unfairly called her a villainess. The aristocrats and noble families all denounced her. For years, she had to put up with his abuse and idiocy, but now she can't take it anymore. At her wit's end, she asked for one last favor: give him a good fist to the face? So, begins Scarlet's story of revenge against Kyle and his cronies, a fantasy about an elegant yet rebellious fighter who doesn't let anyone take advantage of her. This reminds me of a really old movie called Enough, starring Jennifer Lopez. Granted, that story is a lot darker, but it follows the same premise. This one has a more comedic effect. I'm gonna watch the promotional video later. Oh, but it's a light novel. I'm hoping that I can read it. There is a manga? Oh, okay. This is from a video game called BlueSky 2 from 2006. Ferrari becoming a star. I believe this was the ending theme of that game. Big skin guy. Which game? Oh, I'm sorry. This guy had 2. Well, let me write it down for you in the chat. I have to find the it's not the OST, it's the arranged soundtrack. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is the ending theme. Yeah, I gotta look up and ask for one final thing. Because she it reminds me of Dante from Devil May Cry. It's mostly the colors. The character, what was her name? Scarlet. Scarlet looks like Dante. You tried playing 5, but you didn't get far. What's wrong with 5 then? What happened? 5 was what was it? Wait, I'm thinking about 6. 5 was the revenge one, right? Yeah, that was the revenge one. Pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, Sky 5 was Alliance of Vengeance. That's the one I really liked the most. But I believe the one right afterwards made the game a lot easier. because they changed the system entirely. Sky 6 is the better one. She kind of does. Yeah, Scarlet looks like Dante from Devil May Cry. It's the colors. It's even down to her fighting gloves. She looks like Dante. Which is funny that she just fights with her fists. I guess her dress is like a cross between Dante from Devil May Cry and Caesar from... No, I'm sorry, not Caesar. Nero from the Fate series. This guy is talking to me. Oh, you know what? That would be funny though, right? Because Dante is half demon. What if they made a Disgaea DLC? The new one is like... What was it? What number are they up to? Disgaea 8 featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. Oh, but the chibi of him would be like weird. Dante was in Shin Megami Tensei of all things. Well, that makes sense because the protag was also half demonic. What was it? Demi-human? So yeah, I guess that fits. And Dante needs to show up in other games. Mostly because like his is basically dead. I don't want to say the Devil May Cry series is dead, but let's say face it. 5 was... It felt very final. It is final, I think. Sadly. I need to start adding this here. Demi-feed. Ah, right, demi-feed. You sure they'll make another one of that or remake the old one? You know what they could remake? They should remake 2. Make it better. Make 2 like 3. So it's not some boring bland nonsense. 2 is unforgivable. You know what's interesting about Village Dungeon? Like, all that time they spent in the dungeon, but it seemed like Laios didn't really grow a beard. Pretty sure they spent weeks or up to months in that dungeon. yet no visible beard, even though Laios can grow a beard. Capcom loves to remake things. Yeah, I know they're remaking Okami, which is fine, but why did you like close the company that made Okami? Why would you do that? Capcom makes a lot of strange decisions. Granted, they do have some really successful games, so they can make those decisions, but then there's just some things that are just terrible in hindsight. Like they keep making these they want to use their IPs, whereas no, I'm sorry, they don't want fans to profit off of their IPs, but they don't use their IPs. I remember, I think this was about 2 years ago. Fans were not allowed to monetize their fan works of Capcom properties. So there were a lot of artists who had to like quickly sell out their stuff if they drew a Capcom character or yeah, they did. One in particular did traditional art, so he had to quickly sell his stuff just so that's out of his gallery. Only for them to like barely use those characters anyway. Like, we're not seeing a game with trombone in it. We're not seeing a Mega Man or what was that? There's never gonna be another Slayers. Not Slayers. Another game with Morgan in it, basically. That sucked. It looks daunting to draw. Yeah, I know. I don't think I'm gonna put all the shapes. I want to get the contour of the outfit, and then everything else can just be shadowed. You like Okami? I never played Okami. I played Okami Den several times because I was just attached at the hip with my DS. I played Okami so many times. I think I New Game Plus that game like, I don't know, more than 15 times. I don't know why. I was just obsessed with that game. And I've never played the never played Okami, but I played Okami Den way too many times. I would like to admit. Granted, it did have a cute puppy in it, but that wasn't the main reason. Mighty Number 9? That's not a Capcom thing. That's... Mighty Number 9 was an abomination. You want a Mega Man Battle Network remake in the style of Persona graphics? But how would that work? Persona graphics? Like, I know people really like Persona 5 graphics. But Mega Man Battle Network is mostly isometric. I'm just kind of thinking, like, how in the world would that work? I know the portrait would work. The portrait, excuse me. But I'm not sure if that artist would be satisfied working on a Mega Man game. Not that they would be opposed to it, but I don't know. They like drawing what they draw. Oh right, Darkstalkers. What happened to Darkstalkers? You never played Okami either. Always heard it was good. Okay, don't play it. Mostly UI. Oh, UI? Okay, I've never played Mega Man Battle Network, but would the Persona 5 UI work in that game? Would it? Would you mind having such a stylish UI for that game? Because I know that it's also turn-based, and you have to make possibly some quick decisions. I don't know if that level of detail is necessary or will work. Network is stylish? Oh, okay. And yes, I was thinking about Darkstalkers, sorry. I don't know why I said Slayers. Eh. Yeah, like, you can make fan work of characters from Dark Stalkers, but to profit off of them, that's like a no-no. It's just stupid. I think they later changed their mind about that, but that was a stupid thing to do to begin with. You would like a new one, but yeah, it's a dead IP. You mean the Battle Network series? Yes, sadly. I mean, it's like their version of Pokemon, but unique. I know there's like indie games who kind of copy that style, which is fine, but it's not, it's not Mega Man. Plus, Mega Man has its own unique music. I have remixes of Mega Man music that I really like, especially Bubble Man's theme. Even though I never played a single Mega Man ever, but it's a really good theme. Remix, original, it's just nice. Kind of hard to capture too. As for the rest of his hair, really, that just yada yada. Just scruffy hair. It's all about following the direction rather than the individual pieces. Just like actual hair. Follow the direction of the hair flow, not the. I really dig the cyber world aesthetic. I guess it is their version of internet. Was that their version of the internet? Here's the thing about Battle Network, alright? I only know about it through the anime. Yes, that series actually got an anime. That's how popular it was, which is why I'm surprised nothing else came from it. Like, Battle Network was so good that it got its own show, and yet Capcom's like, yeah, no more. No, no more. No more. No mas. Like, why not? Why not, though? Why, though? It makes no sense. It didn't take off, but I actually, as someone who has never played the Battle Network games, I really like the anime. Because the characters were they were great. They were just great. Yeah, there were some aspects that were like, okay, the situation is kind of taken a little bit too seriously, but it was still a fun watch. So it's a little bit frustrating when like I don't know. It kind of sucks. Like it just like they deem that it flopped, so we're not going to continue with the series. It's surprising what a company deems a failure when it actually isn't. Like, you can see, if you were to look at the metrics of something like a television show, let's say a brand new television show started out and it got, I'm gonna say 8 million viewers watching it on debut day. So, in terms of the series, like, based on the series it is, let's say it's a niche series, that would be considered successful. However, a company would see that as a failure because they expected more. And I think that's the problem with relying too heavily on investors, because investors don't understand how your niche works. I think that's the problem that video game companies have had for years now. Their investors don't seem to understand what they're investing in. And that's why you have games like Mega Man Battle Network just never came back. I think he needs more head. For example, this person. Didn't sell bazillion failure, exactly. Yeah, right. Like, I guess you were surprised I was talking about that. But yeah, that was a while ago. I think it's a problem with Capcom themselves. They viewed Battle Network as, okay, this is a series that's mostly for kids, it's catered to children, but anybody can play this thing. Doesn't matter the age bracket. And that's another problem with video game companies. Like, when you do that, you deem this a failure. Even though it's not, it becomes a cult classic, and now the fans who really did support this project are left want to. So they find similarities in indie games. You know, there's an indie game that's just like Battle Network. But it's not quite the same. It doesn't have the Mega Man in it. I'm glad I like many game series. Couldn't imagine being a fan of only Dead AP. Hey, welcome to the stream, Dharma. Yeah, that's true. But then again, I'm glad I'm also a fan of many series, but there's an IP that's not dead, but I just hate it because it's terrible, and that's Pokemon. It's not a dead series, but it's dead to me. And I often don't want to bring up Pokemon because of how much it has disappointed me throughout the years, especially as of recently. And it has to make me rethink how I feel about the series. Do I still like this, or could I get a better experience somewhere else? And oftentimes, the answer to that question is I can get a better experience somewhere else. And I have. I've played games that are Pokemon-like. I've played Koromon, I've played Monster Sanctuary. Both games are incredible. They're not bogged down by the ineptitude of game wanting to rush stuff without a sense of quality control. The net hair. That's understandable. Was it Violet? Both solid games. I mean, was it Violet? I mean, yes, it was that generation, but I think the game that took me off the most was Sword and Shield. Mostly because I got Pokemon Shield. And they describe the box legendaries as equals. But when you actually play the game, these two Pokemon are not equal. The Sword Pokemon is clearly the strongest one, and it can instantly defeat the other one, despite the fact that it shouldn't. It shouldn't be able to do that. And now I'm left with a box Pokemon that I thought I would like, but now I don't because it doesn't hold up. Everybody wants the Sword Dog. That sucks. I thought the Shield Dog was actually pretty interesting, and frankly, I like Magenta, so I guess I kind of like screwed myself over there because I like a color. And then Scarlet and Violet came out, and it just became far worse. Granted, I feel that I got the better game. I played Pokemon Scarlet, which had the ancient Pokemon in it, which I believe, in my opinion, is the better designed game. It has the better designed monsters. But people like Violet because, oh, you can have a motorcycle for Pokemon? Like, okay. Sword and Shield was, yeah. Yeah. Now you know how it feels to draw Disney. Ah, right. You just did it. For the first time, huh, Dharma? Was it difficult? Was it awkward? You'll get used to it the more you do it, but it does feel strange at first. Did the leaks make it worse? The Pokemon leaks? Did it make it worse? No. What made the games worse was the game being released in its state. That's what made it worse. They had a barely functioning game. And I thought, like, yeah, we're just gonna release it. Doesn't matter. Like, fine as is, which is just terrible. Excuse me. Excuse me. I believe at the time, another game was in development. Game Freak was making Town, which nobody even remember got released because nobody cares about Town, unfortunately. And I heard that the game Town was actually pretty good. It was a pretty good game. But Game Freak has what I would like to deem a golden goose curse, which I coined that term is because they have a golden goose, which is Pokemon, and that's their most successful series. And every time they try to stray away from that series, they get bit for it. They get punished because that's not what sells. Nothing else sells but Pokemon for them, so they don't get a chance to be a bit more creative. And that's when you're not allowed to like be more expressive. Well, actually, you are allowed to be more expressive. It's just when you are, it's not successful. That's what actually. You give yourself a chance, and it just flops. It's just sad that they keep releasing subpar games when they're the #1 franchise in the world, but as long as fans buy it. Yeah, exactly. It would not surprise me if the next game they release was completely broken and people would just still buy it. They'll complain about it, but they'll still buy it. It's like we don't learn our lessons. Game Freak will always fail, always succeed while falling on their butt. I think a game like Coliseum would be good. Be so good now. A game like Coliseum, people need to stop pre-ordering. Yeah. I agree. People need to stop pre-ordering. Stop pre-ordering Pokemon games specifically. It's a detriment to your mental health and your financial health. Oh, by the way, since we're talking about Pokemon, have any of you guys seen Pokemon Day? I believe it was February 27th. Did you see the announcement that they made? Most of their announcements was just the gacha games. And then at the end they essentially announced that uh Pokemon Legend Z is coming out next year. Like, okay. Cool. I mean, I guess it's good that's coming out next year. We'll give it time to incubate. But if you're getting that much time and it's still terrible, I'm gonna laugh at you. I'm just gonna laugh at you. You weren't even aware? Oh my gosh. I knew. I'm not even subscribed to the Pokemon channel. Pokemon YouTube channel, excuse me. The announcement wasn't even that long. I believe it's less than 20 minutes. You kind of fell off of Pokemon's? Yeah, I don't blame you. It's just once you've been burned that many times, you just kind of like, you're over it. You're over it, basically. You don't want to deal with it anymore. And a lot of people who have been who've been burned by Pokemon series, they always go back to like, oh, well, Black and White was the best one. Black and White was the best one. Black and White was the best one because it was the last one that Iwata oversaw. And there you go. Pokemon is a disaster that is they have terrible mechanics. Iwata was always there to fix the mistakes. He was the one who fixed the code of the original game, the very first Pokemon game, and he also rewrote the code for the second game. So I'm just like, you guys couldn't figure it out the moment he was gone. After all these years. Like, wow. Incredible. And when you think about it, I guess they don't have to learn anything because, you know, they're successful, so who cares? It's frustrating when you think about it. Excuse me. As you said before, you like a lot of games where you stuck with something that was the point to you. Like you played SMT5 recently, you loved it, but if you think about it, SMT is better Pokemon, just instead of Pokemon, you recruit demons. Be a shy dog. That's true. It's not just that you don't just tease them, you can also bribe them. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's all about that Riz when it comes to SMT. Can you charm a demon? Yes. You get in. Part of the party now. I think that's what makes SMT funny. In a way, because you don't have that simple mechanic of throwing a capsule and boom, that creature's yours. You actually have to convince them to join your party. Just passing by. Good luck on the stream. Thanks for stopping by, Dharma. See you later. 5 was really fun, was refreshing after surviving nothing. I think I played only one SMT game. Called I played Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor. That's the one I played. I really liked that one. But after that I never played another one ever. It's not that I don't like the next ones, it's just that it really is it really is time consuming, especially with all the fusions you can do. And you know I'm like really into that type of thing. And if I don't get what I want, I'm just gonna. All right, I'm done playing. I'm done. I didn't get what I want. I'm done playing. And I guess that's my own fault for giving myself for having that level of high expectation of myself. You had to do 6 playthroughs to get all achievements. 6 playthroughs. I can't do that with certain RPGs. RPGs I expect you to play the game several times. Like, guy, there's only so many hours in a day. Yeah, there's only so many hours a day, and like I want to play other games. Which is funny because I played Monster Sanctuary like 3 times, 3 playthroughs, just to see that how far I can get with my broken set of monsters. But even then, I want to move on. Even with the DLC, I've seen all I can see, and I'm waiting for the next game to come out, which is still based on alchemy, I think. I think it's still a Pokemon-like game, but it's more alchemy based. I think I don't quite remember, but I think you can fuse monsters in that one, but I don't quote me on that. I don't quite remember. The game's been in development for a very long time, and even though I'm in their Discord, I haven't really been following. I know that they released a demo recently for either it's a demo or it's out in early access. It's called Ethermancer. You're kind of bummed out with the new game from Monster Sanctuary devs since it's really a roguelike. Oh, it's a roguelike? Huh. I wasn't expecting that. I don't mind roguelike games. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I didn't get a chance to play it, so I want to see what's going on there. Also, I realized that I have so many games I haven't played yet. I still haven't finished the Paper Mario game on my Switch. I'm finally at the point where I can grind in that game. There's a demo up if you want to try it. It's more of a roguelite, but the genre is really overwhelmed. Has overwhelmed you. That's because you played it so many times. Considering how busy I am, I don't get that much. Although I do like rogue-like games. I'm not sure about roguelite. So I'll have to consider that. I really should make time for my games, because for some reason I have this strange mindset where I'm undeserving of playing them. It's such a strange mindset. Like, I never wanted to do playing video games as a reward, and yet here I am doing that, and it's making me miserable because I'm ignoring all of the games I could be playing. But I had this sense of like, oh well, you didn't earn that yet. You didn't earn that yet. Why not? I guess why I'm so anxious nowadays. Then there's a problem with where I'm just like too tired to focus. I don't know. But that's how I feel sometimes about playing video games nowadays. Even though I have this whole library that I need to get through. Especially with Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. I really gotta get back into that because I really like Dragon Quest. I like them more than Final Fantasy. I think most girls like Dragon Quest more than Final Fantasy. Or so I've heard, but you know. Not really a Final Fantasy girly. Do you feel like you're wasting your time or such when you're playing games? Do I feel like I'm wasting time? While I'm playing them, no. But my eyes are on the clock. It's more like while I'm playing the game, do I have enough time to continue? Do I have enough time to continue? That's the mindset I have right now. Do I have enough time to keep playing? Because there have been times in the past where I've lost track of time because of my gameplay. Like, I would play for, oh gosh, more than 6 hours. And I would just lose track of time. I would just ignore all my responsibilities. Because the game is so good, I don't want to stop. But now that I'm older and wiser, I realize, like, hey, that's kind of like harmful to your sleep patterns. Don't you want to sleep? Like, yes, I do. Thank you. I really want to sleep. Also, it's pretty uncomfortable to sit still for that long, no matter how fun the game is. You could be drawing or something, maybe. It's not like I could be drawing. It's more like I have laundry to do, or I have to start dinner, or I have to step out in a moment. It's more like that while I'm playing video games. Do I have time to keep going? Or it's like, it's time for bed. Or it's time for that show I want to watch. It's that level of concern. Banger OST. Oh yeah, that's Ark. You know the joke about Arknights? It's just a music studio disguised as a mobile game. Then again, I have like other video game music up here, as though it's always stream saved. Well, I think some of them are stream saved. Some of them are actually. So I had to exclude them out of my playlist. Okay, let's finish this up. My OST came with a game on the side. You recently started Limbus Company, which has really songs in it, and it feels like it's similar to the Arknights theme. Is that why there were like a lot of Limbus and Arknights memes in general? That was the thing when Limbus first came out, but then I stopped seeing them. Stopped seeing the memes. I also heard that Limbus is celebrating their 2-year anniversary. Like, congratulations. You made it to 2 years. There's a collab with Arknights coming this year too. On Limbus' side. Oh, yeah. Oh. I don't play Limbus Company. Ah. Yep, there it is. People are wondering what operators are going to show up in this company, or rather, what personalities are going to be there. I mean, there's just an announcement. There's no other news. Limbus fans welcoming Arknights fans as part of them. Arknights fans still have no idea what's happening. Yeah, all I know about there's Arknights memes in Limbus Company. You're a member of Limbus Island just like us. Virtually. Mia and who knows? Mia is also always a safe bet. I think Halsit and Monster. Maybe one of the Sui siblings. Maybe one of the Abysmal Hunters. That's all I can think of right now. Has a lot of callbacks. That's pretty impressive. Hold on, I need to clean up my stuff. There we go. Halcyon might be one. Yeah, I think Halcyon might be one because of the parallels between her and Faust. But I don't know any other characters they would use. Maybe they would use some of the other legacy characters, like Silver Ash, but I don't think there's a match for him. Who would else? Who else? I guess you have to find characters who are of similar personality in order for it to suit. There we go. Planned for September or something, so it's still no info. Yeah, I know. But I'm hoping it doesn't get canceled like the Arknights / Destiny one. All I know about the Limbus and Arknights thing is that it's using 4 characters, which is Faust, Honglu, Ishmael, and Gregor. The operators will be paired with each sinner, 4 sinners, so it's going to be 4 characters. Decided on those 4 sinners to collaborate with. So people think Faust and Calcit would match, but I don't know what the other 3 would be. Maybe we'll get freaking Silver Ash out of nowhere. The sheeps from the So Long Adele event? I don't think you'll get those sheeps. Especially not Dolly. Dolly is too mischievous. You can't picture who else it could be. I'm not sure who else would still stick to that. Think about what I want to do. This could work. Deep comment was about what Laios is thinking. Oh, no. The sheep from the So Long Adele event, they're technically invisible entities. Nobody can really see them except Adele herself. Because, Dolly allows who can see them. Or who cannot. Otherwise, those are just chaos factors that nobody else can see. I'm not sure if Laios would have the ability to see them, but I doubt that they will be eating them, even though they are very cotton candy-esque. But I think I want him to think about the slug from Arknights, because it makes more sense as one of the food items. Since it's a common trope that, common knowledge that these creatures are edible. Especially since the doctor likes to eat them, or wants to eat one. Not sure why. and the doctor actually threatened to eat Vanilla's slug, pet slug. These things are pets and they're food. Interesting. Hello, Heliophysics. Welcome to the stream. Oh gosh, unfortunately, you can't see what. But I finished Laos a while ago. I just want to add something to this thought bubble. Uh, because I want him to be thinking. I gave him a thinking face. I'm doing my best to draw this. I've never drawn this creature before. Oh, excuse me. It's not late, but because it's been a while since I last came, I'm getting a bit tired. Tired stems from, lack of energy, not, oh, I'm tired, I didn't get enough sleep. It's like I don't stay near fuel. I need to make this. I don't know if this creature's cute or not, but I know it's annoying. Most mob creatures are annoying. Not. Which was the most annoying? The most annoying are the exploding ones. I hate those slugs. You know, that reminds me. While the slugs are considered enemies and they won't really harm their fellow enemies, doesn't it annoy you when there's like environmental hazards that harm you but not anything else? Isn't that a little BS? I'm pretty sure a lot of people here have played Mario before, right? Where something like the fire bar, clearly it's gonna hurt you, but it's a part of the environment, and yet enemies don't get hurt by that. What's the deal with that? Why are environmental hazards strictly a player hazard zone and not for the enemies as well? Granted, some of that has changed over the years, but sometimes some of them have not, which is weird. Yes. Don't you think that's silly? The thing is, like, I'm mentioning this. Arknights does not have this problem. Arknights has like, hey, the stage has hazards. It affects everybody. Like, cool, great, I like that. But that's like a fairly new game in comparison to these other games, who have that whole, oh hey, this thing will harm you, but only you. Sometimes it makes me want to like switch off the game. Because, like, no, that's stupid. I will suspend my disbelief for quite some time up until that point. Hey, welcome back, Forrest. What, Forrest? It's been a while, huh? Even though I announced all my stuff on Artfol again, now that's working. I know you came from Artfol and you follow me on Twitch, but because Artfol has been buggy for me a lot, I couldn't announce my live streams there. So I'm glad to see you again. You've been busy? I see. I haven't been well. I see some vast improvement in my art. I know Artful is going through some changes. What? And it's still kind of buggy as heck, but I do like the improvements on the app, well, the phone app at least. But it's still, unfortunately, still buggy. But it no longer has that weird blur when I try to upload stuff. You love the new body model, also been trying to get back into Artful. Oh, Artful, it's a social media platform for artists. So, I guess it's like brand new Instagram, but without the Instagram algorithm. Yeah, it's for artists. Right now it's kind of under construction, so there's a lot of bugs and issues to the point where the developers are thinking about making a version 2. And for a while I thought that was going to be like a secondary app, but in the meantime we're still using the current version that they have released. Do you know if it's pro AI? It's not pro AI. It's anti AI. I know that was a bit of a point of concern for me too, but I don't think it allows AI art at all. Granted, that doesn't stop, people asking for it. Not other artists, I mean, like, people... Anybody can make an account for Artful, go there and request an artist to make them, like, crypto art or some other stuff. Right. Ah, okay. Welcome back, Sekiro. Excuse me. You think you'll check it out? You don't really know if it's a good place to post your art. Well, yeah, it is a good place to post your art, but you have to be patient with it because it's not quite finished. And let me get the URL. This is the URL. It's not .com, it's .co. But the app is on the Android store, and I think it's on Apple. I haven't quite checked. I don't have my iPad open, so I can't check if it's there too. But yeah, I like it. Also, um, there's also another one called Kara. They're also anti AI art. But I don't know if I want to go there. People have complained about Kara. I don't know much about Kara. Um, I think the most complaining about Kara was the server issues. So if I decide to check it out, I'm gonna have to wait until that's done and dusted before I take a peek. Otherwise, I'm gonna avoid Kara for a while. I think Kara was also an answer to Instagram, but also ArtStation. But for some reason, Kara had a lot of controversy when it came out, and yet I hear nothing about it now. Is this on top? You are Android, so you're good. Just be careful with the fake accounts asking for commissions and steal art that can pop up from time to time. Other than that, you love it. That's on Kara? Dang. Ooh, I'm gonna have to reconsider my choices here. Because, to be fair, that also happens on, uh, Artfol, but because this is not my first time on the internet, I'm a lot more wary on there as well. Because the devs have an account on Artful, people having asking them that, hey, is there a way we can protect ourselves from these scammers? I don't know if they're gonna address it because they're worrying about the whole site not falling apart. So you gotta consider the priorities here. Brush, yeah. You think you might actually finish an art piece this year? Yay, struggling a bit with rendering the hands though. Is it the shape of the hands or the shadow of the hands? Because rendering hands is a pain in the butt. I remember a while ago I drew the heart shape with the hands, except I left the rest of the fingers out, so it wasn't like a whole. All the fingers were not brought in, so it was the index finger and the thumb making the heart, where everything else was just splayed out. That took forever to do. But I drew it. I drew it so well that it kind of looked like I traced it. And now I hate it. But it's fine. It was just a practice request. Because I need a way of improving my art. So a while back on DeviantArt I asked, hey, can you guys give me ideas? I'll draw your request for free, but I need an idea. And while DeviantArt is a great place for that, you gotta put a cap on that request queue, otherwise you're gonna get swamped with a lot of people. You know what? I think I will. This is the one. Because he is the leader. So I'll just make that. I'll make an exception. I'm almost done. I just keep adding stuff to this sketch. Just referring to the Artfol on that. You're not sure if I haven't been on as much as I assumed that could have happened. Excuse me. All I know about Kara is that had some server problems and people were comparing it to ArtStation's app. I don't know if any of these things are true. But, you know, sometimes people want to complain for the sake of complaining. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice. I haven't talked for almost an hour. It's a bit of both. It's a bit with both, but you think you'll try to use one of those 3 pose sites for reference, lol. Oh, yeah, those are very helpful. Another thing that I do is I, sometimes, like, when it comes to 3D poses, trying to articulate the fingers is, like, a pain in the butt, and you spend way too much time posing those hands. So a faster thing I would do would be to, like, set up my phone to do a timed photograph and just take a picture of my own hands doing it. And then I draw from that. Well, that being said, oh, excuse me. I think I'm getting reflux from the hunger. Excuse me. I've been going for a while. You've done that before? Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Another thing that I do is that excuse me. I have a mirror on my desk. So I often look at myself in the mirror or what I'm doing in the mirror to try to capture that as well. Hold on, I have to save this. I don't forget. I'll post it later. Hope that's the time-lapse save? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna call it here. I'm considering coming back on Sunday morning, but I have to see what else I have to take care of first on Saturday and Friday. So with that being said, thank you for joining me, participating in chat. I appreciate your company. Oh, and if you can guys do me a favor and give the stream a like if you like it. I will be working on Senshi offline, unfortunately, but because I want to move on to other images. I find myself sketching a bit too fast. That's why I'm trying to like stretch this as far as I can. But even so, I had like an hour left in my stream that I had to stretch. So thanks for being patient with me. Okay. Good night, folks. Take care and stay safe.